Oh, thank you.
Look out, Batman!
Rocket roll jackpot. Double shot jackpot. Oh, yeah. Watch it, tough guy. Winners don't tilt.
Heh! Better luck next time, kid.
What's the matter, Billy? Having a problem?
This game is cheating. I'll never win the Moldy Cheese Champions Challenge trophy.
The game isn't cheating you, Billy. You simply need to get better.
Aw, shucks, mister. How do I get better?
You need to practice every day. Eat your vegetables and watch Professor Flipper's Pinball Primer.
Whoa.
That's the spirit, Billy. Now let's watch.
First 3 steps to better pinball play are: read the rule sheet. Understanding each game's scoring rules tells you which shots score the most points. Learn how to score those big jackpots by following the rules. No double flipper hits. Hitting the ball with each flipper independently helps with aiming your shots and lets you learn more advanced skills. A pinball barely fits between the flippers when they're horizontal. Independent flips help prevent center drains by hitting the ball into the other flipper. Keep flippers ready. Learn to flick the flippers instead of leaving them up after a shot. You want to be ready for the next shot.
Basic skills. Cradle. The cradle stops the ball to help aim the next shot. Cradles are also useful during multi-ball. Flipper pass. The flipper pass is used to pass the ball from one flipper to the other via the in-lane. Rather than taking a shot on the fly, simply hold the flipper up while the ball comes down the in-lane to safely pass it to the other flipper. This move is extremely handy on Junkyard to light up the dog video mode. Shoot the ramp, perform a flipper pass, and repeat until video mode starts. Bounce pass. Another technique to get the ball under control is the bounce pass. This is the most essential ball control technique in pinball. The bounce pass is simply letting the ball hit the flipper in the down position and bouncing over to the other flipper where it can be cradled. The bounce pass is an extremely safe and effective way to bring the ball under control. Improve your bounce pass skill with the one-hand drill. Keeping one hand away forces you to bounce pass off the dead flipper. Post pass. The post pass uses a slingshot pose to transfer the ball from one flipper to the other. This is useful for setting up shots on the other flipper. The Lawler jackpot trick is a way of fooling the machine into thinking you shot the ball onto the side ramp for the jackpot. Trap a ball on both flippers to set this move up. Backhand the right flipper up the center ramp, then quickly follow with the left to create a ball train. This ball train will fool the computer into thinking the side ramp was shot for a jackpot. This move works on Monopoly, No Good Gophers, and Addams Family. During multi-ball on Roller Coaster Tycoon, shoot the ball from the upper left flipper to trap it behind the upper right flipper. Use quick flips to keep the ball trapped. You'll have one less ball to worry about while shooting those jackpots.
Have you learned the basics?
Oh, yeah! That was too easy.
That's great. There's a lot more to learn, Billy. You want to see more?
I sure do.
Intermediate skills. Drop catch. A drop catch is used to stop the momentum of the ball. The flipper is held up, then released just as the ball hits it. If the ball has enough backspin, or if the ball is rolling towards the base of the flipper, it can be cradled. Forward spin, or if the ball is traveling towards the tip of the flipper, the ball must be shot on the fly. For games with a kick-out that feeds the flipper, performing a drop catch is a great way to control the ball. A drop catch is the second most important ball control skill you can learn behind bounce pass. Alley pass. Use the alley pass to collect an in-lane rollover score while passing the ball to the other flipper. The alley pass works great to get that extra ball. Using this move on newer games is risky, because if you flip too late, you'll drain down the middle. pass. A tip pass is simply holding the flipper up, having the ball hit the tip, and deflect over to the other flipper. A tip pass is also useful for multi-ball separation. Flick pass. A flick pass is used when a ball is traveling too fast to cradle, yet too slow to perform a flipper pass. Hold the flipper up and do an extremely quick flip as the ball nears the tip of the flipper. If done right, the ball will get lobbed over to the other flipper. The Captain Fantastic Top Flipper Extra Ball trick is used to capture and drop the ball down the in-lane, collecting an easy extra ball. The Attack from Mars Dirty Pool Award gets its name from the famous Addams Family quote, "When the ball sneaks into the vault with the bookcase closed." Attack from Mars has a similar feature, also called Dirty Pool. To achieve it, you need to get a ball stuck behind the force field bank during multi-ball, and then knocking it into the saucer, rewarding you with a free saucer kill. To set this up, trap a ball on each flipper. Shoot the left ball into the saucer to destroy it. When the saucer begins to shake, shoot the right ball into the saucer area. If your timing is just right, the ball will get stuck behind the shield. Then it's just a matter of knocking the stuck ball into the saucer. Or you can play just the one ball and collect jackpots. When starting multi-ball on No Good Gophers, the machine kicks out a ball out of the putout scoop, rocketing down to the lower right flipper. A great counter to this out-of-control kickout is to backhand the ball on the fly into Buzz's kickout for an easy jackpot setup. Timing is very critical, but with some practice, you can master this move. An easy way to start the Union Jack mode on Tommy is to shoot the left orbit while keeping the right flipper engaged. The ball will travel around, hit the right flipper, and deflect into the Union Jack scoop. Thing fling. Perform an alley pass to the left flipper. When the ball clears the lower flipper, press the left flippers up to drop the ball back down the thing flips lane. Shoot the ramp to collect thing flips. The KME maneuver. With the ball on the right flipper, backhand the bookcase as far to the right as possible. After the ball hits the bookcase, flip the upper flipper to send the ball up the left ramp. The power of time. The power magnets got you down? No problem. Hold the ball on the flipper for 15 seconds, after which the power magnets temporarily shut off. Use this time to freely shoot the electric chair and to start that multi-ball.
Electromagnetic. 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 Electromagnetic.
Playing pinball with your friends and family is a great way to spend the weekend. To ensure everyone has fun with the flippers, we present a guide to proper pinball etiquette. Hothead Fred abuses games as well as everyone's ears. Remember, pinball is a family sport. Please control your emotions and watch your language. Don't be a hothead Fred. Slob Stan neglects his personal hygiene and treats pinball games the same way. Slob Stan also likes to eat while playing. He is very messy. Slob Stan never uses a napkin. Don't be a slob Stan by keeping a pinball game clean, keeping food away, and using a handkerchief. Annoying Al thinks people would rather talk to him than play pinball. This is very distracting. Al thinks his lame jokes and boring stories are more interesting than your high score, and Al doesn't mind getting in your way to make sure you can see him. Don't be an annoying Al by waiting until the player is done with their game. Poor Sport Mort doesn't understand that pinball is for fun. Nobody likes playing with Poor Sport Mort. He wants to win a tournament any way possible, and he ignores proper pinball etiquette. Poor Sport Mort does not handle losing or winning like a gentleman. If Poor Sport Mort followed proper pinball etiquette, he would enjoy playing pinball, and other players would enjoy his company. Poor Sport Mort needs a different hobby. Wyatt and Ben forgets about his large caboose while backing into other players. Nobody likes rubbing Ben's booty while playing. Don't be a Wyatt and Ben and keep your hiney out of the way. When others are politely waiting their turn to play a game of pinball, Game Hog Gary ensures a longer wait by calling on multiple games while sharing none of them. Gary continues his greedy playing by quickly starting new games. Don't be a Game Hog Gary by inviting other players to join in. Pinball is more fun when shared with others. When playing games packed close together, Jazz Hands Jeff pokes players around him. If Jeff smokes, he turns into Brand Iron Bob. Bob often forgets about his hot coals, endangering other players. Be considerate to others and keep your fingers on the buttons and your smokes in the ashtray. Kids love pinball, but nobody likes a Billy Button pusher resetting games or launching balls. Teach your kids to behave properly by not interfering with other people's games. Billy Button Pusher occasionally needs a reminder of proper pinball etiquette.
I do. You're worried about not doing the right thing. Your table manners.
Now you're talking like Mom and Dad.
Look, you may not care much about table manners now, but when you grow up to be me, then you'll care.
But why? Why does it matter?
For several reasons. Look, maybe I can show you. Let's imagine the family at dinner with nobody minding manners. Not very pretty, is it?
Advanced skills. Live catch. Live catch is the hardest flipper skill to perform. There's good news though, as the live catch is a fairly low-risk maneuver. A live catch is performed by flipping the flipper when the ball is at its exact apex of the flipper's stroke. Live catches can be handy for controlling the ball out of a kick-out. Flipping the flipper at the right moment will stop the ball in its tracks at the end of the flipper. Use the live catch on the Theater of Magic kickout at the beginning of multi-ball to collect the 100 millionth super jackpot. As the ball kicks out of the basement, live catch it, then quickly shoot the trunk to score big. Loop pass. The loop pass is an essential ball control move performed on machines with an orbit. One of the best uses for this move is to achieve the 5-way combo on attack from Mars, needed to rule the universe. To perform a loop pass, hold the flipper up until the exact moment the ball is about to hit it from the orbit. Then let go. If performed correctly, the ball will drop dead at the opposite flipper. Lowering the flipper too late will lead to an out-of-control ball. Too early leads to the ball draining straight down the middle. A great way to practice this move is to see how many combos you can perform on an attack from Mars. This is a great way to show off to your friends as well as develop the loop pass skill. Tap pass. A tap pass is performed by lightly tapping the flipper button, causing the flipper to twitch, just enough for the ball to softly get passed to the other flipper. This move is extremely risky, and not tapping the button hard enough will result in an embarrassing drain known as the Mahaffey pass. On the contrary, tapping the button too hard will send the ball out of control. This is referred to as a Jeff pass. Tap passes are best performed on older solid-state machines with rounded flippers. Newer Williams-style flipper machines, which have a more aggressive angle to them, must be performed slightly sooner. This move is especially useful on machines where a post pass cannot be performed, such as Captain Fantastic. A variation of the tap pass is the rolling tap pass, which is the riskiest maneuver in pinball. The rolling tap pass is performed with the ball already in motion. The tap pass is also useful on machines with a center ball save post. Use the tap pass to pass the ball to the other flipper or to set up a clean shot. Post catch. A post catch is useful for stopping a ball as it's coming down the in-lane. This move varies from game to game. Some are easy, and others impossible. Flip as the ball hits the base of the flipper as it comes down the in-lane. If your timing is right, the ball will hit the post and come to a stop on the flipper. A post catch is handy on no-good gophers. Shooting the center ramp 3 times in a row results in Bud popping up to block your shot. To counter this, use the post catch after the second ramp shot. Hold the ball for a few seconds to keep Bud down. Then, continue to shoot the ramp to light lock. Cradle separation. Cradle separation is used to separate 2 balls cradled on one flipper. Quickly flip to send the top ball up against the slingshot. As the ball travels back down the slingshot, it will hit the bottom ball and deflect over to the opposite flipper. Cradle juggle. The cradle juggle is performed from a 2-ball cradle by tapping the top ball up just high enough to enable you to shoot the bottom ball. The top ball then comes to a rest on the flipper. Newton's cradle. The Newton's cradle is used when having 1 or more balls trapped on the same flipper. As the ball travels down the in-lane, it hits the cradled balls, creating a Newton effect, which sends the top ball towards the tip of the flipper. Quickly perform a flick pass to send the top ball over to the opposite flipper while holding the flipper up to keep the remaining balls cradled. Dual action flipper. Named after Williams' patent in the late 70s of having 2 switches on the flipper button, one for lower flippers and one for upper. While keeping one ball cradled on the lower flipper, let the button out slightly to control the upper flipper on its own. Did you ever see someone shake the game when the ball is in its nest of bumpers? Did you wonder if this bumper bashing does anything other than add a few points to your score as well as add to your excitement? So did we. Let's look at bumper shaking in 3 different games. We'll measure the time the ball spends in the bumper nest and compare between shaking and non-shaking times. After many trials and performing a few simple statistics, our results are interesting. For Attack from Mars, shaking increased bumper time by about 30%. However, Addams Family and Safecracker bumper time dropped about 30% when shaking. Our conclusion is that bumper bashing is not for every game, but if you like doing it, then go right ahead and have your fun. The Shadow's mysterious Perba knife ramp diverters give players a way to control ramp shots at the press of a button. The Perba diverters can also be used to help the ball complete the ramp shot and to trap the ball during multi-ball. Hitting the Perba diverter at the right moment also launches spectacular air balls. Use the Perba assist to help complete the left ramp shot with the left flipper. The Perba is switched as the ball travels up the ramp. Likewise, timing the perba just right can trap the ball, useful for multi-ball control. Shooting the Con multi-ball side saucer can be a tricky endeavor, but a properly set up machine can offer an easy setup shot. Shooting the right orbit and leaving the left flipper engaged is a simple and safe technique to set the ball up at the top flipper for an easy Con saucer shot. Want to hone your on-the-fly shooting skills? No other machine offers such a challenge as the Shadow's elusive 7-way combo. What makes this maneuver so difficult is incorporating the right orbit shot into the mix. But with the help of your friend, the Loop Pass, you will see the easiest way to achieve the 7-way combo. Starting from the left flipper and with the left perba diverted to the left, shoot the right orbit. As the ball makes its way back around, perform a loop pass to the right flipper. Timing is everything, as you only get about 3 seconds to complete each shot. Quickly shoot the left ramp, right ramp, right ramp, left ramp, left orbit, inner loop. There, wasn't that easy? Shadow's final battle mode is quite a challenge the first time around, which includes a 30-second ball save. But the second final battle has no ball save. Sounds pretty impossible to beat, right? Well, guess again. The software in the machine will keep kicking balls out until all balls are out of the trough. You can take advantage of this for 45 seconds by keeping only one ball in play while letting all the other balls continually drain. So by keeping only one ball in play, you can concentrate on shooting all those shots without care while the game tries to unload the ball trough.
Quante volte ho camminato questo percorso, raggiungo per un altro segno e un nuovo gioco comincia, non posso essere arrestato, non posso essere arrestato.
Nudging and shaking directs the ball off of playfield obstacles, makes the ball go where you want it to go, and prevents outlane drains. However, don't overdo it or you'll tilt and lose your ball. Nudging a pinball game moves the lower playfield up to half an inch sideways or a quarter inch upwards. Sideways nudging is less effective on the upper playfield, simply because the player contacts the game at the lower playfield. Shaking is repeated nudging, less forceful, but with a higher risk of tilting if you shake too long. Use your palms to nudge the game, pushing the corner either right, left, or up. Nudging in the direction of ball travel moves obstacles into the ball and will speed up the ball's rebound. Likewise, nudging in the same direction of ball travel moves obstacles away from the ball and will slow down the ball's rebound. A good sideways nudge can move obstacles entirely out of the ball's way, if so desired. Of course, this may not improve your score. Nudges alter the ball's rebound direction. This is more effective for rails and posts. However, the ball's rebound is not entirely predictable due to rail flex and spot wear on rubber parts. Nudging and shaking work best in preventing outlane drains, especially for games with outlane posts and rails. The basic techniques are nudge the post or rail up into the ball to knock the ball away, nudge the side into the ball to ricochet the ball into the post or rail, then away from the outlane, nudge the post toward the outlane to block the ball from entering the outlane. Shake to dig the ball out of the outlane. Nudges must be timed just right to make the ball bounce in the proper direction. A mishit or a too hard of a bump might actually cause a drain. Shaking can rescue a ball from certain doom, and it's one of the flashier pinball moves. Shaking is most effective when the ball is slowly entering the outlane and has not dropped in more than a fourth of the ball's diameter. Shake the ball into the post or rail to carom the ball upwards, then rebound off the side and out free. Here's a simple example of how the ball literally walks up the outlane, then bounces free. Nudging and shaking are key to playing better pinball, but be careful or you'll trigger a tilt. There are several tilt mechanisms used in pinball games. These mechanisms close an electrical contact that triggers the game's computer to either lose the player's turn and bonus points, or worse, kill the rest of the game by resetting. Most games give tilt warnings before enforcing a tilt penalty. Once you get a warning, you can't tilt again for a few seconds or you'll get the tilt penalty. Older EM games have a simpler tilt and don't have warnings. Tilt sensitivity and warning timings vary from game to game. The art of nudging and shaking means knowing the game's tilt limits without losing balls. Missed, missed. The Dracula pinball machine has an unusual tilt in that there is a generous grace period between warnings. You can take advantage of this during the missed mode. As the ball travels across the playfield, it must be knocked off the magnet with the other ball to activate the missed multi-ball. If, however, you fail to hit the ball, there is another way to knock it off. Take advantage of the generous tilt timings and give the game a good nudge as the ball is entering the missed pocket. If you shake it just right, you can knock the ball off the magnet to begin multi-ball play. Slapping is a form of nudging, but with less risk of tilting. Slap the game's side as the ball touches an obstacle. This sharp bump kicks the ball a bit while barely moving the tilt bob. Warning, don't try this on your own game. Use someone else's game. In physics terminology, a slap generates impulse. We'll use this rubber mallet to demonstrate. Observe how a sharp hit moves the ball, but the force is too quick to overcome tilt bob inertia, thus avoiding a tilt. Unlike nudging, a slap is only effective when the ball is touching an obstacle because the playfield moves very little. And slaps may hurt. Remember, pinball is fun, not pain. Practice your nudging skills on Aztec by bouncing the ball back and forth over the bonus rollover in the upper arch. Good rhythm and a soft touch is all that's required to keep the ball going. Keep it up, and your reward is a large bonus. The nuke saucer on Starship Troopers is a tough shot. Take advantage of the dual flipper controls on this game for an easy shot to the saucer. Keeping the lower flipper engaged allows the upper flipper to use it as a guide to shoot the saucer. Now it's time to take ball control skills you have learned and put them to the test. Let's look at the game Attack from Mars and see how we apply ball control skills. The ball control zone is in the flipper and in-lane areas. It is always our goal to keep the ball in this area. The areas we want to avoid are the out lanes, center drain, and those evil slingshots. Now let's take a look at the layout of Attack from Mars and see how we can go about keeping the ball under control while still maximizing our points. The controlled shots on Attack from Mars are left loop, left ramp, lock ramp, scoop, right ramp, and right loop. These shots result in consistent flipper returns. Here are some examples of control shots in action. Right loop. The right loop orbits around to the left flipper, setting up a loop pass. Right ramp. The right ramp feeds the right flipper in lane. Performing a flipper pass brings the ball under control at the left flipper. scoop. The scoop on Attack from Mars is a control shot, yet its kickout is inconsistent on the left flipper feed. For this, we must adjust on the fly. If the ball kicks to the left of the flipper, hold the flipper up to safely get the ball over to the right flipper. If the feed is more toward the center of the flipper, perform a drop catch to get the ball under control. If the feed is towards the tip of the flipper, simply do a bounce pass over to the right flipper. Lock ramp. The lock ramp loops around and meets up with the right ramp, so the same ball control scheme fits here. Simply perform a flipper pass. Lock. When the ball locks, it is ejected onto the left ramp, which feeds the left inlay. Execute a flipper pass over to the right flipper. Left ramp. The left ramp, much like the lock, feeds the left in-lane. Since the ball has more speed, it is much easier to perform the flipper pass here as compared to the lock shot. Left loop. The left loop orbits around to the right flipper, which sets up a nice loop pass to the left flipper. Jet bumpers. The ball will occasionally feed into the jet bumpers from the orbits. This is one of the trickier ball control challenges, as the ball will either feed the scoop or dribble down the right orbit much too slow to perform a loop pass. What we do is simply hold the right flipper up and see what happens. This is a bad idea, as the ball bounces up into those nasty slingshots and begins its wild journey into the unknown. This time, we will leave the flipper down. Give the cabinet a nudge to the left as the ball rolls down. Even though it's not pretty, this move gets the ball under control. Shooting the ball on the fly is an option, though risky. This is recommended only during multi-ball. The best option here is the live catch. Although a tough move to master, it is a very low-risk maneuver. Now let's look at the game's wild shots, the Martian targets, and center shield targets. These shots are dangerous because they have no consistent flipper return. What we have to do is calculate the risk and reward for attempting these chancy shots. The saucer shot can be very lucrative and also very deadly. Try to save shots to the saucer for multi-ball when you can afford to be more aggressive about losing a ball. Only during multi-ball should you loosen up with riskier shots and on-the-fly hits, but don't overdo it. Stick to your game plan and maintain ball control. Aiming and hitting shots is the primary ingredient to pinball success. To hit each shot, the ball must be flipped from a specific position on the flipper while accounting for the ball's speed. The easiest way to control ball speed is to shoot from a cradle. Once the flipper drops, the ball rolls consistently down the flipper, allowing you to learn each shot position on the flipper. Releasing the flipper button also helps in timing the flip. For this example, an 1/8 inch difference on the flipper determines barely hitting or entirely missing a target. Shooting at this lower target bank requires a much tighter flip distance, as the 5 drop targets range within 1/4 of an inch near the flipper's nose. Shots at lower targets are trickier because the ball rolls faster near the flipper tip. Pay attention to target flip positions and you'll see a shot pattern emerge. Shooting a ball fed by an in-lane is challenging because the ball moves faster. With a faster ball, you must flip earlier and at least a half-inch closer to the flipper base to counter the ball's speed. Here's the same shadow mode saucer shot position from a cradle start and a rolling in-lane feed. Pinball is a game of timing and reaction. For example, this ramp shot starts exactly half a second after the flipper drop, and the mode saucer shot right next to it takes a fleet 8 milliseconds longer. Use the ball crossing the base of the flipper to help time in-lane feed shots. The reaction time required here is a doable 142 milliseconds. Part of the fun of pinball is learning and mastering the shots each game has to offer. Take advantage of the center ball save post on Champion Pub to assist you in knocking out your opponent. When the fight begins, simply let the ball come to a rest on the center post. Flipping when the ball is settled results in a ramp shot. Repeat this process for the other ramp to light knockout. Family is a fun game to play. To achieve consistent gameplay, let's explore the ball control points. First is the swamp kickout. You have 3 control options here. First is to hold the flipper up and try to get the ball to come to rest in the cradle. The second option is the live catch. Only use the live catch if the swamp kickout doesn't allow a controlled cradle when holding the flipper up. The third control option is a bounce pass. The thing kickout kicks to the upper flipper. Shooting the ramp is the only safe shot here. Shooting the train wreck is not advised, as this sends the ball to the middle of the playfield. The center ramp feeds the right in lane. Perform a post catch or flipper pass here. The electric chair kickout discharges straight down to the left flipper. Your next shot determines your options. If you need the ball on the right flipper, simply let the ball bounce off the left flipper. If you want the ball on the left flipper, hold the flipper up and bring the ball to a cradle. Or perform a drop catch and take your next shot. The thing flipper on the left side of the playfield is dedicated to the swamp shot. This is a very dangerous shot to miss, as it will send the ball into the Bermuda Triangle. However, the risk-reward occasionally makes this shot worthwhile, as it awards 5 times swamp value. Your other option is to hold the flipper up and feed the bottom flippers. When starting multi-ball from the electric chair, the game will eject the balls in the following order: swamp, chair, swamp. On the first kickout, perform a live catch, then quickly send the ball to the thing saucer for a jackpot shot attempt. Risky shots. Cousin It. Train wreck. Chair from the right flipper and jet bumpers are the game's risky shots. Avoid these shots as the ball's return is inconsistent and difficult to control. Shooting the ball into the chair from the left flipper is safer, due to the backhand shot not having as much energy to deflect off the posts and towards the drums. Illegal moves.
about to see is illegal in tournament play, banned in arcades worldwide, forbidden in game rooms, and may cause bodily harm.
Let's watch this thing! Come on, go!
Lose the ball down the out lane? Don't give up hope just yet. If your reactions are quick and your hand heavy, try a bang back to rescue that lost ball. Whacking the sweet spot kicks the ball back into play, breathing new life into your game. Hitting it sharply avoids a tilt. This extreme move won't work for many games, nor consistently for the same type of game. Wear and tear and setup variations determine bang-back success. For example, shrinking the gap on this apron now transfers the bang-back impulse. Want more violence with your pinball? Try a death save. As the ball rolls down the right out lane towards the ball trough, give the game a quick shove to smack the back plate into the ball, kicking the ball up to the flippers. Death saves work on machines without center posts, and playing on a smooth floor is mandatory as the game needs to slide a bit. Games with tilt warnings help in executing this radical move. We investigated further by rigging this Doctor Who tilt mechanism with an LED to see what goes on during a death save. The tilt bob makes contact several times and generates a warning, but no tilt. This game allows multiple tilt contacts during the warning display, but make another tilt contact too soon afterwards, and you'll get the tilt penalty. Keeping the death save shove sharp and short is critical. These extreme moves aren't appropriate for every game or player, but they sure look cool. Back for more, kid?
Ready to rock? Sandy, I just primered that.
Billy, your flipper skills. Use them.
Bullet madness clock is lit. Bullet madness. Hook on this.
Mullet jackpot. Super mullet jackpot. Mega mullet jackpot.
Ready, watch the rough stuff.
Big ultra mega mullet jackpot.
How do you think he does it? I don't know.
You failed. Ha 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 ha. You jilt, I tilt. Ha 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 ha. And first place, Billy.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Hey, kid. Catch.
cry. These guys don't know what they're doing. Man, where's the spin save? I don't see no dust slams or anything. Anybody could do this. I grab my camera, I go shoot one too, I'll put it on the interweb. Hey Charlene, got any more of that high 8 tape? Give me one, will you? Erase the wedding, I don't care. I'll show these guys, man. Anybody can do this. You don't need great skill. I'll show them skill. I got Hank's skill.